Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I would like to be a little different. You know, usually at this portion of the show, the comedian comes out here, and the first thing he says to the audience is, "Ha! I'm very happy to be here, kids. Ha ha! Just got back from Hollywood where I finished making my latest movie." Immediately they come out and start lying to you. Lying, 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 and they are lying, I know. Because when I was out in Hollywood making movies, I never saw any of those fellas out there. Maybe I'd better sing. Won't you listen to my story? Listen to my plea. Let me tell you what my kick is, and I'm sure that you'll agree. Every time I try to sit at home and listen to my radio, I feel so sad because those programs aren't bad, but those commercials drive me crazy. Have you ever heard some of the singing commercials they have on the radio? Maestro, a singing commercial. I am a happy garbage man. My job sure is a treat. $20 every week and all that I can eat. I'm happy, ha ha ha, as I go barefoot through the goo. Here comes another shovelful. I hope it misses you. That's the way they sell these things. This is what they call commercialism. They have an advertising agency. They spend millions of dollars a year to make these things. Have you ever noticed some of the advertisements they have in the magazines? Like, for example, I have a magazine here I spent last week's salary on, and as I flipped through it, I noticed that there's several advertisements that appear in every such magazine that you buy, and they're always the same one. Like, for example, here on page 4, you always find this one on page 4, no matter what magazine. This shows you a picture of a 1959 Cadillac with diamond headlights, mink seat covers. There's a fella sitting in the car that looks like a cross between Robert Taylor and Clark Gable, and he is wearing a suit that costs $450 to have cleaned. He's driving along, throwing pennies to the peasants in the Chevrolets. And on the hood of the car are 3 gorgeous-looking girls, and they're staring at him like this. See, he's very attractive. Why? He's wearing O'Sullivan heels. They're wonderful advertisements. Of course, my favorite advertisement, I have a favorite. Some people have favorite songs. I have a favorite advertisement. My favorite advertisement is the Lifebuoy soap ad. I like this one because it tells a story in several different pictures. In the first picture, Mother always says to Mary, "Mary, why doesn't John take you out anymore?" Do you know that John doesn't take anyone out anymore? If you read the advertisement, you'll find on page 6, John does not take Elaine out because she has a pink toothbrush. How did he find out that she had a pink toothbrush? See, you never ask yourself that question. You accept it. See, when he meets the girl, the first thing he gets is her address. In the middle of the night, he crawls in the backward, runs to the bathroom, opens the medicine cabinet. It's pink! And he never takes her out again. Now, on the next page, he does not take Enid out because she has dishpan hands. And then they show you a picture of dishpan hands, and they look like 2 feet. The next page, he does not take Rose out. And I'm slightly ashamed to say this. He does not take Rose out because Rose is sluggish. Where does this guy get his information from? Where did he want to take her from? Didn't you ever see that advertisement? Oh, that's the best advertisement they have. In this advertisement, this also comes in several different pictures. In the first picture, the wife is always nagging the husband. She says, "Don't swash it on the floor. I can't stand it any longer. The children running all over the house. I'm going to pieces. You can't." And he's very nice. He says, "Shut up. I'm going to take you to the doctor. He's going to look on your head. There's a flywheel busted or something up there." So the next picture, you see the doctor. And the doctor's a very distinguished-looking gentleman with gray hair. They never have young doctors in these versions. Very distinguished-looking gentleman with gray hair. Maybe some of you fellas remember him. He used to make movies for the Army. He used to be the fellow that said, "Men, don't. You may carry a burden through life. Is it worth it?" You're damn right it is. Well, at any rate, he is saying, no wonder this poor woman's nerves are on edge. She is sluggish. So in the next picture, John is carrying home a prescription. 38 cases of X-Lax. And in the last picture, she doesn't nag him anymore. She hasn't got time. Well, I just thought I'd bring that up. It's the strangest thing. But at any rate, I have a request to do a number. Isn't it funny how many requests we have on this record? You all know that vaudeville is dead. Well, I have returned to the scene of my crime. Now there are rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. It's all the same, it seems, yes, sir. Long as you have your dreams with you, baby, they'll see you through. Why, there's sunshine, flowers, summer and spring, the birds up on the wing. Why, they don't cost a single thing, no, they're free, baby, for you and me. But while looking for a four-leaf clover, I thought the whole thing over, and I'd rather be a rich man with $1 million than a poor man with a pocket full of dreams. Our dreams may have their splendor, but they aren't legal tender, and the automat will not let you drop them in the slot. One thing I know for sure, remember this now, honey. Whether you're rich or poor, it's better to have money. So if you know a millionaire with $100,000, baby, incredible as it seems, I trade them for my pocket full of dreams. Ah, those dreams. Say, I remember that old gang that used to hang around my father's candy store. Why, there was Mitch and Mopey Mo, Slippery Jim, Stinky Joe, Dirty Mary, who we take behind a cellar door, Gaff Hard. Oh, we strolled home through schoolroom halls, writing words upon the walls, beating up the younger kids to hear them cry. Pulling trolleys off the rails, tipping over garbage pails, throwing rocks at sweet old ladies passing by. Good morning, madam. Oh, the motor cars we stole, and say the drunks that we would roll, and those many other carefree childish pranks. Why, those are my dreams on parade. Say, do you think that I would ever trade him for the dough in all the banks? Oh, I'd rather be a rich man with $1 million than a poor man with a pocket full of dreams. Is everybody wealthy? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always wanted to do something dramatic, and I have just written a new play, which I'm hoping to have produced at this time, and it deals with a very controversial theme, reincarnation. Now, don't feel bad about this, because up until 3 days ago, I thought it was a flower, too. Yeah. Well, at any rate, I was talking about this new play I've written on reincarnation. Reincarnation is where someone dies and comes back as something else. Like, for example, Washington died and came back as a bridge. Lincoln died, came back as a tunnel. Bismarck died and came back as a herring. Truman died and never came back. At any rate, this story deals with a young couple very much in love. He is a vegetarian, and she is a Presbyterian. They're very much in love. Everything is going wonderful until one day she passes away. Of course, the boy is broken-hearted, but somehow he manages to get over her because he believes in reincarnation. And one day, while sitting in a restaurant, he looks up, and he sees the girl. She has come back as a meatball. He sees her sitting on a tray with mashed potatoes and peas. He recognizes her immediately. He turns to the waiter. I have to have these teeth fixed. He turns to the waiter and says, "I must have her." And the waiter says, "I'm sorry, the manager's off today." He says, "No, that isn't what I mean. I must have her, that meatball. It's my fiancée. It's the girl I love." Well, naturally, the waiter, to avoid his getting violent, wraps his girlfriend up in some wax paper, puts her in a paper bag. He takes her home and lays her on the kitchen table. Well, he's about to propose to her when suddenly he realizes that he is a vegetarian and she is a meatball. Well, of course, this is a horrible problem, and this is the whole crux of my play. Because the last third act, he practically goes out of his mind for a solution, and then finally he finds it. He breaks her open and eats the onions. I don't know if this thing will ever get to be a hit, but it'll show that I have guts, which I think I've showed so far up to this point. Well, we haven't rehearsed anymore, so we'll just, let's do Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. The movie, oh yes, can we? We'd like to tell you, at this time, Dan Daly and Betty Grable in Mother Wore Britches. Yeah, Perry, you stick with me, baby, it's the big time. Your name is on that billboard right next to mine. Yes, sir, kid, stick with me and the sky's the limit. Oh, Dan, it would be all so wonderful, Dan, if it were only for one thing. What's that, baby? Don't worry, just ask it. Oh, Dan, if we were only married, Dan. Married, sure, kid, anytime. Golly, for a minute I thought you were going to ask for top billing. Pittsburgh. Say, Betty. Yes? Dan. Did I see somebody deliver a telegram to you just before the show? Yes? Dan. Who was it from, baby? Oh, it does not make any difference, Dan. I know who it's from. I know who it's from. It's from Ziegfeld. I can tell you what he says. I have a big part for you in my new show, but I can't use the boys. Well, that's show business. Don't worry about me, kid. I'll be all right. I'll get a new girl and start breaking her in. No, Dan. I cannot break up the act, Dan. I could not ever think of doing without you, Dan. Okay, baby. You talked me into it. Kansas. Well, baby, we're really doing great. We're booked up solid. Oh, Dan. I think we will have to cancel a few engagements, Dan. Cancel a few engagements? Are you kidding? Why? You don't mean, you don't mean. Yes, Dan. Well, what are you standing there, kid? You gotta take it easy. Pull up a trunk and sit down. Philadelphia. Telegram for Dan Patter. Telegram for Dan Patter. Twins. Years later. Oh, Dan, I think we will have to break up the act, Dan. When I think of our two daughters all the way out there in Missouri, and when their friends ask them about us, what can they tell them? Mother wears grease paint. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, it's greasy. Oh, the twins, that's all I ever hear about is the twins. All right, quit, go back. I can do without you. I can do a single. Missouri. Can I have a drink, bartender? Pittsburgh. Can I have a drink, bartender? Chicago. I know I'm not any good anymore, but it's not my feet that went bad, it's something inside. Oh, if only Betty would come back. If only Betty. No, it can't be. Yes, Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, my old partner's back and we'd like to do our old act for you, so that's why I say make every day a Mother's Day. California in